We are back with another episode of the Dom Joseph Podcast. Thank you guys so much for being here today. This is it's been an eventful 3 weeks, and I've been running. That's actually what I've been up to. We continued the Peace and Dignity journey. I picked it up in Reno. Me and my partner, we picked it up there, and then we ran it to Vegas. And, before I get started, I just want to put my hands up to everybody who was a part of the Peace and Dignity journey from Reno to Las Vegas. I got to meet a lot of great people. A lot of people hosted us with great things. And, there's a lot of prayers. There's a lot of good things going on down there. And to run through the desert was an awesome experience. I'm very thankful for that. If you guys don't know what Peace and Dignity journeys are, go check it out. It's actually people running through Fairbanks, Alaska to Colombia. If you're interested in checking out more about that, go check it out in the bio of the podcast episode. But yeah, that's what I've been up to. So people are probably saying, hey, Dom, where you been? And I was running through Nevada. I got to meet a lot of great people. I'm just going to go ahead and just say their names just to keep it, There was Ponch, JC, Faith, Lila. There was Delmar, Koo, Misty. Of course, my partner, Quina, she was there. She was amazing. There's Danita. There's two sons. There's, of course, Azani, Terrence, Cowboy, Jeremiah, Josh, Aaron. Lots of great people. And people who hosted us, too. The Paiute Pyramid Lake. Paiute, Yarrington, Tonopah. There's lots of great stops. Pahrump that we got to go through and check out. I was really excited. And when people say, "Hey, do you want to go running through the desert?" Not a lot of people want to. And I'm not trying to ask, for a Medal of Honor for doing so, but I think it was a really, really cool thing that we got to do. And when you're praying with the staffs, that's basically what the Peace and Dignity journeys are. You're running with staffs and you're praying through that area. The heat is almost second nature. We actually had a very good plan to beat the heat early in the morning. We would run just to beat the heat. And I think we did a pretty good job in that. And I'm really thankful that I got to be a part of that because there was some really cool people that blessed us. And we got to bless some really cool areas of the world. I've only been to Las Vegas and Nevada, and there's so much more, obviously. Vegas is like a, adult playland. And it's a pretty big culture shock going from, staying on the ground on a res in somebody's community center to going to Las Vegas. It is definitely a difference there. But yeah, that's what I've been up to personally. Also, there's a lot of stuff going on here in Seattle. Canoe Journeys is actually gearing up. There's actually going to be the Seafair Daybreak Star Powwow. Make sure you guys check that out. That's going to be pretty cool. A lot of people show up to that. So if you guys aren't busy this weekend, go check out that Daybreak Star Powwow. But I'm glad to be here. I try to carve out some time, and I haven't been probably as consistent as I once was. But, life just gets a little busier sometimes, and, that's okay. Sometimes we're going to beat up ourselves for not staying consistent on things, and that doesn't really do you any good. I think if you're going to stay consistent in something and something comes up and you have to take a couple days break, couple weeks off, that's okay. And, especially when you're creating, it happens. I was working on this form line piece, and, I've been staring and doing the same ovoid for 2 weeks. And I'm like, I want to just get this done. But, when you start rushing things, that's when things start not really working out too well. To put it in perspective, think of your favorite artist. Wouldn't you want them to take as much time on their creating the next album, creating their next song, instead of rushing it and then giving you something that you're not really a fan of? Or like maybe that, they could have took a little bit more time and made it a little bit better. And that's how I think with the pod now. I used to really be like, okay, we're just going to push out episodes week in, week out, which very well was a good idea. But I think sometimes time will tell, like the Bob Marley song says, time will tell. But yeah, I landed in Reno, and one thing, when you land at airports, people always like, Dom, do you know a lawyer? If you're ever struggling to find out, a lawyer's number, I swear, just go walk into any airport. There's going to be ads all over the airport. I don't know what it is. Lawyers got that space down. Like you need a lawyer's number, just walk through a random airport, and I guarantee you'll find one somewhere on the poster board. But, I got to fly. I've been using airway of travel lately. I'm used to canoeing or walking or driving. I guess I can't really lump canoeing in there. I'm not like the most coastal native in the world. I don't canoe everywhere, but it's just that time of year. But yeah, I've been flying, and that's been okay. I sat in the middle seat. The middle seat's somewhat growing on me. I think it's definitely the worst seat of the three. But the one thing about the middle is you usually get both armrests, so that's kind of nice. And people who are on the left and right of you are like, they're in the middle. They kind of give you like that little nudge of like, well, I feel bad for the guy. Not saying I need that, but when you sit in the middle seat, you kind of get some sympathy, so that's all right. And I sat in the middle, and, I had to take a leak halfway through the plane ride, and I just kind of nudged the person next to me. I got to go to the bathroom. That's probably the most hardest thing that you're going to deal with being in the middle seat. I mean, yeah, the cramped space, obviously sitting like this, but asking them to go to the bathroom. I think that is why I think the aisle seat is the best seat, because you can get up and go to the bathroom whenever you want. But some would say, yeah, but when you're in the aisle, you have to let people out to go to the bathroom, and that's so true. So I think window might still be number one in most people's, but I think mine personally, since I know I like to be able to get up whenever, I like the aisle seat. So if I were to rank the seats in the airplane in economy, it's got to go aisle, window, and then middle. That's just how it goes for me. Some people would argue window. I don't think I'd agree with that. But yeah, there's lots of stuff going on. Like a lot of people right now on Facebook are complaining about garbage being everywhere. I'm not going to say necessarily where, but everybody on Facebook's always saying, "Oh, the res is so dirty. We need to pick it up," and blah blah blah. I walked by a whole bunch of plastic bottles and garbage yesterday, and I was just disgusted. And you don't pick it up? Like, there's always that person who comments right below it, and why didn't you pick it up? And I think there's some truth to that. Some people think that's rude to come out and say, like, why didn't you pick it up? But at the same time, it's like, you're going to complain about it, but it could have took you 5 seconds to pick up the plastic bottle. And they're like, that's not my garbage. Well, if it's that big of a deal, maybe you could have picked it up. I usually don't like to be the guy who comes in and says that, but some people do. So that was something that came to mind, especially traveling. Traveling, you're going to run into a lot of things, because I was on Facebook scrolling, kind of seeing what everyone was complaining about. And it also gives me more things to think about, to talk about on the episode. And I don't know about what you guys think about this, but, when you go into the bathroom, you do your business, and then you go to the sink. There's like 6 sinks there, depending on where you are, maybe 2, maybe 3. And they're censored. So you walk up, and then you put your hands there, and the sensor doesn't want to see your hands. So you're sitting there like, why isn't it working? And then you do that little walk of shame over to the next sink, and then that water blesses you just a little bit, and you're just staring at that other one. I don't know what it is, but I give that sink a stare down sometimes when that happens. I can't stand that, I just, I don't know what it is. That's something I was thinking about when I was traveling, because I know the airport bathrooms are probably one of the most used bathrooms in everywhere. I guess there was a study that came out and said that the most used bathroom was probably a stall in the Atlanta airport. And I didn't really believe that, but Atlanta airport is one of the busiest airports in the United States, and I think let alone maybe top 10 in the world. So there's a lot of people going in and out of that bathroom. So if you're base it off foot traffic alone, I think that one would probably be one of the top ones, which was insane to me. Because, you go to the airport. Here's the thing about going to the airport. When you got to go number 2, I feel like no matter what stall you pick, the toilet seat's going to be warm. I don't like that. I like to go into a stall that hasn't really been used in a while. I like there to be kind of cold air around it. When someone uses the bathroom, there's still like hot air around. That's when it's been used. I like to go into one where it's still cold and, it feels a little bit more clean. When it's warm and hot, I don't feel too good there. I feel like someone was just leaving something there. And that's something to me. Kind of just reminds me of people in their hometown. No matter what hometown you're in, some people come from different hometowns. They always want to show people somewhere really cool and have an interesting fact. And I feel like every hometown, someone always comes out and says, "Oh yeah, this lake is one of the deepest lakes in the world." And I'm guilty of this because in Lake Chelan, I think is actually one of the most deepest lakes in the world, or at least in the country. Let's see here. How is Lake Chelan one of the deepest lakes? Oh, okay. Lake Chelan is actually the third deepest freshwater lake in the U.S., even deeper than the Great Lakes. So I don't feel like I'm lying too much. It's a pretty deep lake. And I don't mess around with deep stuff, dude. Like, anything past like 15 feet, I'm good. Because, there's some pools, there's like the skydive or the long dive or whatever. And you jump into like 12 feet of water. That's okay. Because I can see the bottom. But there's something about, like, I don't know if you guys seen, but there's this super large, like, tank that's like probably 100 feet deep. And there's people who like scuba dive through it. That would terrify me. Just the amount of water that there is in there. Like, people say, oh, what about the ocean? The ocean's different, but like if you're to encapsulate a huge tank of water, and I'm supposed to die, it just freaks me out. What also freaks me out is like the hills with eyes. So if you're actually coming back from Pullman and you're driving back to Western Washington, there's going to be hills and they have eyes. And something about those things creep me out, dude. And I know they're probably cut like that to freak us out. Unless there's like a agricultural meaning to have eyes on the hills. I don't know. Maybe it's hard to cut. Those freak me out. So like big, huge tanks of water like that meant for diving freak me out. And then also big hills with eyes. I don't know what it is, but it's something, and also to kind of stay on the topic of things that would freak me out. I think taking a spaceship out of this Earth would be pretty nuts. A lot of people say, oh, Elon Musk was actually thinking about putting a hotel out there, or would you ever travel to Mars or the moon? I'm good. Here's the thing. The only way I'm going to space is if Rick Sanchez pops up with a portal gun and said, let's go. I would do that. I wouldn't have to travel the way, but, I'm not taking a spaceship to the moon. I'm not doing it because you got to sit vertically. I'm probably going to get the middle seat. And it's probably I'm gonna cramp up, and then I'm good. I don't need to go off. If the Earth succumbs itself and it doesn't live while I'm on here, I'm going down with it. I'm loyal to Earth. I'm not on Team Moon or Mars or nothing. I'm from Earth, man. Or maybe I'm not. Maybe we're aliens and we weren't. I don't know. Some people believe that too, but I'm definitely not going up to space. And there's always the argument of what's scarier, going deeper in the ocean or deep in the space. I think they're both equally pretty scary. I think if you were to go to deep waters, I don't think there's much there, to be honest with you. I know we haven't explored much of it because it's just water and super, super dense mass. Like you can't even, it would crush you because of how the pressure down there. So I don't think there's much down there, but I could be wrong. We could, Atlantis could be down there for all I know. I don't know. Anglerfish on Nemo could be down in the, they are, but I don't know how deep they go. I know they, anglerfish kind of, and for people who don't know what the anglerfish is, it's the fish on Finding Nemo with the light in front of it that look terrifying. Those are the ones that are down in the deep waters. And they're usually pretty far down there to the point where like light's not even hitting the water. That's how deep they are. And that's why they have that little light in front of them. But anything past that, dude, you're pushing it. If somebody said, would you rather go to a submarine or a rocket ship? And I had to choose one. Oh, that's a really good question. I think I would have to say spaceship. I think only because the view of getting to see Earth from up there would be really cool. But if you're deep in the water, man, there ain't much down there and you can't see much. You're going to have, your submarine light. But if you start seeing mermaids or aliens or huge anglerfish, I'm freaking out. Like, I go to space, the thing that's probably going to happen is the rocket ship explodes or whatever. And, I come down and maybe I get a little bit taller, but I just think there's a little bit more to see up in space. And that would be less terrifying. Hey, space would still be very terrifying, don't get me wrong. But if I had to choose between going in a submarine into the deep ocean or going into space in a rocket ship, I'm taking the rocket ship. But I prefer a portal gun with Rick Sanchez, but we know how that goes. And I know that might sound kind of cheesy because I know Rick and Morty fans can be kind of cheesy, but that's just what happens. What else been going on? I was in Vegas. I was in Vegas for a little bit. I got to explore Vegas for one day before we flew out. But a lot of people say, "Oh, let's go play a 20." I'm feeling a little lucky. Let me go play a 20. But then bougie natives be like, "Let's go play a hundy." Let's play some hundies, man. I just feel like playing a 20 is pretty common amongst most natives. I feel like, hey, let's go try a 20. But then bougie natives, man, they're coming in the door saying, "Let's play a hundy." You're just like, I don't know if I got a hundy, man. I still got to eat. I'll play a 20 and I'll put my rewards card in there because I need to get a room. Don't be putting that rewards card in there. You're not going to win on the slots with that. It just tells them not to let you win. Dude, I'm trying to get a free room. I don't care if I really win that much on the slots. I'm just doing this for fun. I'm putting my rewards in to get a room. I know I'm probably not going to win. Everyone gets real stingy and real superstitious about gambling. Everyone has their little tactics. They're tapping the screen. Some people like to have a certain drink on the certain side of the slot machine. Some people like to put in 100. Some people like to put in only 5s and then work their way up. There's definitely tactics on the slot machine. And I'll tell you, I'm the guy who just puts in 20 and tests my luck. That's usually me. Like, let's go play a 20 and I'll go from there. But some people are like, them bougie guys, the bougie natives, man, they're saying, let's play that hundy, Let's try out the hundy. Let's go downstairs and play a little hundy, They like to throw in a little, just to flex a little bit. Yeah, let's go play a little hundy, That ain't little, man. I got kids at home. Hundy ain't little to me. Oh, the rich natives acting like $100 ain't no big deal in the slots. Say, yeah, let's go downstairs and put a hundy in. I got kids at home. I can't be putting a hundy in there. $20 is good for me. We still haven't even ate yet or even been to the pool. So you go ahead and go down there. Everyone always try to get you to go gamble. Always try to put a hundy in. I know some people, and I don't mean that in a being derogatory way at all. I know some people like to gamble, and that's their fun. Some people don't drink. They like to gamble. Some people like to drink and gamble, smoke, gamble, whatever. But yeah, gambling's fun. I'm not endorsing it, but I lost in Vegas. I lost my $20, and they gave me a $15 free play, and I didn't win. So I was a little upset. And I didn't even really I only won like $3, They let me go down, and then I started winning on the last spin, and then it was kind of disappointing. So I think that's the one thing about gambling that could be pretty upsetting. But what else is going on in the world today? Let's see. Old gas town. What did I don't really know. But you know what actually was pretty surprising to me? Is when I was in Nevada, when you're in your hometown, you think some restaurants are just like the restaurant in town. For the longest time, actually up until recently, I thought Porta Subs was like just a thing we had here in Tulalip. I thought it was like a small chain and not many people had Porta Subs. In Nevada, they had like 15 Porta Subs. I saw Porta Subs on every block. So there's always something that kind of lets me down sometimes when you're like, all right, we have this chain at home. And then people are like, oh, you have that? I actually, that happened to me because I thought in Oregon, so Oregon started Voodoo Donuts. and I actually have a relative that lives down in Texas, and they were saying, hey, we have voodoo donuts down here too. And I was like, I thought it was only an Oregon thing, and I guess they franchised it down there, but there's some things that you think are just only unique to your area, and little do you know there are other places too. And I'm not trying to say I'm small-minded, but yeah, that's yeah, it was unique to me. And you know what else is kind of unique is that in the world right now that we live in, we have a lot going on. There's a lot of politics, and then we had the debate, the U.S. debate, and then the Donald Trump was almost assassinated thing. And now everyone's sharing the picture. It's everywhere. It's kind of hard to not talk about it right now. But there's always that one guy, whenever Biden or Trump or any politics come up, Robert Kennedy, people are like, oh yeah, have you heard about Robert Kennedy's new speech, or Biden or Trump? Have you heard about that? I only vote for native politics. That guy in the corner, that's usually me. I don't vote for the U.S. I vote for just tribal. It actually affects me. All those guys, they don't do nothing for me. I'm trying to get more per cap. That guy in the background, or that guy we need a new gym out here. Yeah. I went to some gyms back in on the east. They had saunas in their gyms. That's what we need. We always want to just try to get people raises. How about we reward our people? We need a sauna. I swear saunas are one of the most common thing that people are like, that's what our tribe needs. Yeah, we need a gym and a sauna. I feel like you just have a gym and a sauna, your people and your tribe are going to be pretty happy. So if any board of directors, delegates, or people in leadership positions in tribes, you want to make your people happy, just build a sweat at your gym. You don't have a sauna in your gym back home on your res, people, they'll start complaining. I've been to a couple saunas here and a couple recent reservations that I've been to, and you know what? It's pretty nice. So if I got to say something to Slay Up, we need a sauna. We got a lot of nice stuff, don't get me wrong, but I think a sauna would be nice too. And I hope people are seeing through the sarcasm in this, and, it's okay that we don't. But I'm about to build one myself. Building a sauna ain't that hard. Just a bunch of cedar, and it's just that heater that's really expensive. I went to the tribe down the road. They had a sauna. We need one too. Something about sauna and the sweat, people really need that energy, So, yeah, that's what I've been up to. I mean, like I said, there's powwows coming up, canoe journeys coming up here on the west and our northwest. I'm very appreciative of being out here in the northwest. I've actually been in talks to a native native martial arts, mixed martial artist. He's going to come on to the pod, and hopefully that'll be a great one. I'm going to, wait to disclose who it is, just because I don't want to get you guys hyped up and it not happen. But I did reach out to him, and I hope that goes well. I've always been really interested in MMA. So, and I say that as a fan who's never done it before. The most MMA I had was I had a punching bag when I was a kid. My grandpa got me one, and we tied it up to a tree, and I swear I hit it not even that long, and I got tired. And I didn't really hit it much after that, but I wish I would have stuck with it, but that's the thing now. I'm 26. I got the dedication now. When I was a kid, hitting a punching bag wasn't fun, but now I feel like, hey, this is good. You got to learn how to defend yourself a little bit better. And so that's what I'm thinking about right now. That's where I'm at. The NCAA game just came out too. I'm rebuilding my franchise right now with the Wazoo Cougars. Go Cougs. Following that, I'll probably make a UW one, and then I'll go from actually UW's pretty they're pretty good. I don't think I really need to rebuild anything. I might go to Tulane and rebuild there. But yeah, if you're from Nevada and I met you recently on the Peace and Dignity journey, thank you so much for taking me in and taking my partner in and being nice to us and hosting us, letting us sit in your saunas, letting us hang out in your community centers. I had a great time. And, I put up my hands up to everybody who I met. And I know I can't tag everyone below or mention everyone below, but I had a great time. And I'm very thankful. I think that's something we could all work on, is being grateful for what we have. 3 things I'm grateful for today. I'm grateful for my health, my family, even though sometimes there is health issues and mental issues and connection issues by getting along. I'm still very happy that we are all here together, regardless if people aren't getting along. And I'm also very grateful for just the water that we still have and the fish that are still living, because I just had salmon caught in our bay just the other night from my cousin, and I'm still very thankful that we're still able to eat that kind of stuff. Because there will maybe be a time, maybe not now, maybe not in a while, where the fish may not be edible. So I'm very thankful that the fish is still edible and they're taking care of us just as much as I'd like to think we are. I don't think we're really doing that good of a job taking care of them. I think there could be a lot of better things going on in the water to help them thrive. Because I want my grandkids to be able to have fish. I want them to be able to have shellfish and not artificially flavored things. Nothing wrong with artificially flavored, but I know there will be a day, maybe after I'm gone or maybe after my kids are gone, that they won't be able to have fish, and I want that to be able to stay the same. Taking care of it and leaving it better than the way you had it. That's something I was doing on that peace and dignity journey. Is people would have a clean place for us to go and be home, and then when we left, I wanted it to be just as clean, if not cleaner, when we left. And those are the things I'm grateful for. So I hope you guys are grateful for something too. But yeah, I hope you guys have a great day, great night, great midday, whatever you guys are doing. I hope you guys are watching a new show. Hope you guys are playing the new NCAA. Shout out to all my family members. Shout out to everyone who's still out there kicking it and listening. I really appreciate you guys. And I'll see you guys next week. If not next week, and if not that week, I'll see you the next. Until then, hoi.